Good evening to each and everyone. We are live here now in Tambenihan Garden Cafe for our Friday episode. So this episode for Friday is usually Q&A. So with Q&A, we can entertain a lot of questions. I know there are so many of you who are sending a message in my page. So I am quite busy. My clinic manager, who is Alvin, my brother, is actually handling the page. If you sometimes can book a consultation, that's even better. But for those of you who are asking a lot of questions, I'd like to answer each one of you, but most of those are actually beyond what my allowable time can accommodate. So this is actually the best time for those of you who are having some concerns when it comes to this way of life, and also for us to learn from others' experiences, from other stories, and also their own learning. So feel free to share if you have questions, and at the same time, if you have your own personal story that you'd like to share, and we will share that with the rest of the group. So hello first to our my dearest, my favorite pediatrician, Dr. Venus Asia Escandor. Hello, Doc. Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. So with the title of our tonight's episode, it's just actually for the recording purposes as well, because today is actually my 5th day of dry fasting. So dry fasting is, you know that I've been an advocate of fasting. I've been into water fasting for more than 2 years. I did that. The longest I did, I think, was 12 days and a half. Before that, it was 10 days and a half. And before that, a couple of 7 days, 4 days, 5 days, 3 days. But the first ever water fasting that I did was actually 4.5 days together with our family. So there's 3 of us who went into fasting just for the heck of it, just for the sake of knowing if it's real. Because the first time I heard as well that people are fasting not for religious purposes but for healing purposes. They've been fasting most times of the year in a year, and they are into even OMAD, like 1 meal a day. So the first time I heard about OMAD or 1 meal a day, I felt like those people are really mad, or they must have gone crazy to eat just 1 a day. And in further readings, there are a lot of testimonials, blogs even, of people actually eating 1 meal every 2 days. So that is ADF. So it is alternate day fasting, and every other day they eat, and the only time that they eat is only once during every 2 days. So that is very, very economical. So if you think health is expensive, it's actually not expensive, but we have a lot of excuse, a lot of cultural mindset that are actually not very much helpful when it comes to our health. So our health can actually be healed, can actually become optimized, can be the best health even without spending an extra cent. In fact, you will be saving a lot more. So my story started with water fasting, eventually addition of low carb nutrition, that is the promotion of low carbohydrate diet, because fasting is still just one part of nutrition. If you want to optimize nutrition, you also have to make sure that what you are eating during those times, whenever you're already fasting, is actually nutritious as well. So avoid fats, avoid sugar, avoid processed foods, avoid fats that are processed and toxic to the human body. So those are margarines, the shortening, the processed seed oils like vegetable oil, if not labeled as coconut oil. Others would be canola oil, corn oil. Those are actually very, very toxic oil that can be inflammatory when accumulated. So eventually, as I go into fasting, go deeper into it, I actually learned also about dry fasting. So like you, probably you feel like this is somewhat extreme, and I understand, because I felt that way. Even if you have read the books, I actually didn't mention much or discussed more about dry fasting, especially that book actually was afraid to come out as a fasting protocol book, because then when I wrote it, not everybody is open to the idea of fasting. So it was written in such a way that a person with no idea about fasting can actually become prepared to do their first ever 24, 48, even 7 days direct water fasting. So if I feel like if I incorporate dry fasting right then and there, it may not be that effective anymore. But don't worry, the following books, for sure there will be subsequent books. It will be, since the 3-part series of Perfect at Last, Health, Weight, and Wellness is already finished. So another book might come out anytime soon, and it will discuss more on a more advanced learning when it comes to low-carb nutrition and at the same time fasting, which will now include dry fasting. So if you will search the Google internet, you can actually not find much evidence about dry fasting. So the literature, medical literature, will always say that about 3 days of dry fasting, of no water intake, of no food, can actually lead to death. So I want to challenge this myself, especially that I know a lot of people are already practicing 7 days of fasting. So there's even what we call as the Phoenix Protocol. So this elderly man in YouTube has been doing Phoenix Protocol for the longest time possible. And I think he's already around in his 70s, and he's doing it, and he's doing fine, and he is at the top of his health. So since I am quite a skeptical person, I don't believe in things as even if so many people are saying it's true. I will only believe the moment I try it myself. So the first 3 days of fasting, I did that twice already. I even made a video about it. I've even made a laboratory monitoring for that dry fasting, and I noted that I'm actually quite okay, and my blood values, there's just very, very minimal changes with my electrolytes. But that one was done without much preparation. So this dry fasting, I've prepared mentally, I've hydrated well prior to this fasting, and also made sure that I have enough electrolytes. So it is now 5th day of my dry fasting. So if you see me, I still don't look very thin. I don't look like dying as what we thought a 3-day fast would do. But now I'm on my 5th day. Of course, I am quite a little sleepy, so my eyes would say that. But generally, I'm somewhat okay. If I compare what I feel right now, it's actually just my usual 24 hours fasting. It's not so much different. It's just that maybe I'm a little thirsty, but my thirst actually is not that dying to drink water thirsty. I've been peeing still, and my pee, the way I urinate, is actually not that minimal like my usual, about more than a cup, more than 250 ml or 350 ml even. So thank you guys for watching. Lilibeth Pajarillo from QC, Falguera Joyce, Casas, Connie, Anthony Fabuliar, Falguera Joyce, Naval Biliran, and Jem Michael Caballa Reyes from Japan. Wow, we have a lot of friends in Japan. I need to be there soon. Sonia Timpog, Doctora, after completing my 72 hours for soft fasting, is that soft dry fasting? Once I'll break my 72 hours, what is the best time to have my fasting again? So it's good that you replenish first your water and electrolytes at least a day or 2 at minimum, and then you can start your another cycle of fast, given that you still have a lot of fats to lose and you still have a lot of fat stores, and of course you make sure that your electrolytes is well replenished. So Giselle Santiago de Ocampo, hello. Bumanglag Regina, Mama Regina, always present yan, and one of our very active moderators in Life Without Rice and also in low-carb feasting and fasting community. So if you are still not yet part of that community, kindly add this to your groups, because it can give you the best inspirations when it comes to your meal preparations and food intake. Hello, Roxanne D. And we also have, thank you, Roxanne, for tagging your friends and families. And we have a lot of listeners and watchers here. Don't be shy. Put a comment so that I'll know you're there. Rhea Salamanca, Leah Lay Limocon, Eric Alba, Erich Alba, Rain Lugmao, how to prepare for dry fast. So what is important is you are prepared to do it, and you can start slowly. You can start with 12-hour fast, 14-hour fast, 16-hour fast daily. First, you make your body used to it, because if not, you might be at risk of dehydration. So when I did dry fasting, I started with 14 hours, so I made myself get used to dry fasting, slowly extended it until I do my OMAD, 1 meal a day, still with dry fasting, and I usually break my dry fasting almost together with my water fasting. So if I've been dry fasting for 18 hours, I take a couple of sips of water, a couple of gulps of water, and then after about 30 minutes, that's the time I take my proper meal. So that is how I usually do it, and until I went to 24 hours, and then eventually I go into 3 days, and then until this time. So this is by far my longest dry fasting, and I actually don't intend to do it like routinely, maybe once a year. Yeah, that would be enough. But I just wanted to see myself how I'll do, how I will behave. So I'm into competing with my own self, actually, but more so I would also like to see it myself how I behave, because otherwise I don't want to keep on teaching or preaching things that I myself don't do. That's why, if you've noticed, although I believe that exercise can be good to your health, I don't tackle much about exercise, because I myself is not doing it regularly. So I feel like a hypocrite if I'll be discussing about exercise, what about exercise, and everything else about exercise, because I myself is actually not into it as regularly as I could, as a lot of other health coaches. So, but in theory, if you ask me anything about exercise, I can help you still. So, but know that that is in theory, and that I didn't apply it myself. If you see me, I'm not a very muscular person. I have a build that's supposedly what they say, built to be an athlete, but it's just that I didn't develop muscles for that, because more than what an athlete should be, I am actually fond of sleeping. I'd rather sleep than go there and work, because sleeping is much more essential, and it's healing. Exercise can be stress, but it is good, because once you already have faced stress in real life, like say for example you get pneumonia or whatever, your body can take more, so you will heal faster, just simply because your body is already used to stress, so it can handle more stress. It's because you've been exercising. Just like athletes, a lot of athletes that can tolerate a lot of sugar, a lot of carbohydrates, because food is stress and exercise is stress, and because their body is already used to stress, it can metabolize those stressors, it can accommodate those stressors more than those people that doesn't exercise. So that's why for me, I'm very sensitive to sugar. The moment I take sugar, I already have immediate bouts of allergy, immediate bouts of rhinitis, rhinoconjunctivitis. Sometimes I'll even have days of bloating, so I have a lower abdominal bloating, and also even my lower legs can sometimes swell up. So that is how sensitive I am to sugar. Maybe someday I will work things out, although there are times in my life like I did yoga every day consistently for about a couple of weeks. I even bought 6 different yoga mat colors. That's how I loved yoga during that time. But it's also been months since I last stepped on my yoga mat. So it's different. So with dry fasting, you can prepare for it slowly but surely, but don't rush, okay? Myra Makutai watching from Isabela. Thank you. Charm, Janisha, so much love. Roxandy, you're welcome, Doc. G. Morales Villapando, watching po from Muntinlupa City. Wow. Mel Garcia, good evening. And Tesang Tere, hello, watching from Pangasinan. Connie Fabular. Doc, ask ko lang po, okay lang po ba ang dry fasting daily kahit 18 to hours, napansin ko kasi di ako nagpa-palpitate at mas di ako nagugutom. Actually, yun talaga ang pinaka-advantage of dry fasting. I initially tried it as just for curiosity and how my body will react to it, and I've actually found out that I feel much better with dry fasting than water fasting, because water fasting, drinking water alone is actually not sustainable. Whenever you drink water, you should be able to drink at least an equivalent amount of electrolytes to balance that out. Because if you're only drinking water, you're actually expelling all those. And for other fasters, although it's clean fasting to drink, it's still considered as clean fasting to drink plain coffee and tea during your fasting window. But actually, tea and water has a diuretic effect, meaning it can make you urinate more. So what it will actually do to your body is you might be at risk of dehydration. Not just dehydration from fluids, but also dehydration from electrolytes, because you are taking in just pure water and you are excreting more of that without replenishing the necessary electrolytes that you are losing. So with dry fasting, however, you are actually preserving the water in your body, at the same time preserving the electrolytes as well. And if ever you urinate, you are urinating equal amounts of water to a certain set of electrolytes. So an imbalance between water and electrolyte in your system is less likely. And that is why, Connie, you actually feel good with dry fasting. So yes, 18 to 20 hours of dry fasting is something that I did actually, and I felt good about it. You just make sure and be mindful of the cravings after, because if you don't break it slowly, you can have it will trigger like a starvation mode, wherein you will be like a caveman, that the moment you open up your window, you will really like feast or gorge on those foods. But if you have the self-control, the mind over matter technique, you can just settle with a regular meal still, even with dry fasting. So actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm currently fasting, why I currently I plan to go in this long fast. Of course, I just plan it, but who knows? I can break it anytime. The moment I feel like it is already a time for me to break my fast, even if it's my plan to do a 2-week fasting, 7 days of that would be dry fasting, and the other 7 days of that would be fasting with water and electrolytes and some and sorry for the interruption. So we've had internet issues here, but I hope we are now okay. If anybody is still there watching, kindly confirm if you are there and if this reception is already better. I've tried to browse the comments from the previous video, so I will answer them one by one for those that I can recall. So there is that one with Picos, who is asking if exercise is needed to do just low carb meals, and actually fasting is already enough for you to slowly but surely ovarian syndrome. However, if you want to incorporate exercise, that's also even better. But mind you, and you have to be very careful, because the moment you start exercising, you might be increasing your metabolism, and comes with that thus overall increase in your appetite, which is sometimes can be so strong that your urge to eat, especially the carb-loaded ones, might be stronger than your own willpower. So, but if you think you have the discipline to say no to it, then go, why not? No problem about it. And there's one question about what to eat after a 5-day fast. So actually, I feel like I want to break my fast since this morning. But what I've been dreaming about are foods that I like. So there are a lot of good photos, especially now in Life Without Rice. I've been craving for nuts, especially almonds, and since we make a very yummy pancakes here, low-carb pancakes here. I would love to take that as well. I love cream cheese. I also love pork, and especially that we'll prepare a lot of pork dishes for tomorrow's event. But I realized that if I'm going to break my fast now, I'm actually not allowed to eat all those, simply because my body has been deprived with nothing for the last 5 days, that it actually cannot accommodate any solid food right now. Of course, I can eat that, but I might be inducing more damage and eventually lose the benefits that my body already had during the last 5 days of fasting. Because when fasting, especially longer ones, like 5 days, 7 days, 12 days, there's actually no danger in fasting. But the danger only comes when breaking the fast wrong. So a lot of people who are fasting, the first thing they ate is usually carby ones, rice, bread, sweets, all those, and they can go into what we call as refeeding syndrome, wherein the moment you eat all those, your insulin might spike up, and then you are actually endangering yourself from shutting down, because all of the nutrients from your bloodstream will be extracted by your starving cells, and you will be left with nothing for your brain, for your heart, for your essential and vital organs in your body, because your starving muscles, your starving fat cells will consume them first. So if I have to break my fast, especially this long dry fast, I will start with water and electrolytes. In a couple of hours after, I can already drink some bone broth. Okay, and I need to replenish the if I want to eat solid right after, I need to replenish first the good bacteria in my gut, so that it will prepare it, so that it will process it well. Because for the longest time that I've been dry fasting, or you would be fasting, even if it's water fasting, so you were not feeding actually your gut lactobacillus, so they can die as well. So with that, actually, you will need to replenish that with the good bacteria, lactobacillus, like in fermented foods, in sugar-free yogurt, so all of those. And after a while, maybe the next day, you can already enjoy solid foods. So if I think about that, I wanted to break my fast to enjoy those foods. However, I will not yet be able to savor them right now. So I'm thinking I'm not willing to wait that long. And as part of my practice of temperance and my practice of moderation, I'd rather go for a longer fast and wait a little until I finish my goal and see really how well it is. Because a lot of testimonials said that dry fasting for 7 days, you can get the benefits that you cannot imagine with anything else. Just like with water fasting, the magic number when it comes to water fasting actually is 21 days. So I'm not sure my body is prepared for a 21-day fast. So I'm just preparing for a 2-week fast. And I know I can take it because I've already did a 12.5-day fast last year. And I felt good even during that 12.5 days. I feel energized, I feel well, I'm not even hungry or thirsty. It's just that I miss food so much. So I gave in to the thought of food in order to break my fast. So no, I will not yet break my fast, because the reward, which is the good food that I like, will still be delayed. So I'd rather go first and try my best to finish my fast. So my schedule for tomorrow is quite booked. So I hope to keep myself busy, and until nighttime, I will be already in my fasting retreat center, where I'll be there alone and nothing to disturb me and nothing to tempt me. So I might miss you guys for a week, and I might not be able to do my Facebook live this coming week. So that's March 1 3 and 5, but if I can accommodate it, I might give you some updates or after. So please don't forget about me, even if I won't be here live. And as per our groups, Life Without Rice and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community, we have very good moderators and admins we just added. So we have Earl, we have Oledon, I forgot. I sometimes when I see the name, I don't read it actually, I just see the name. So thank you, sir, for helping. And thank you all for being here. So who else? What else? What else are the questions from the previous thread? Because this is already the second part of our dry fasting day 5. So if you can see me, although I'm not that energetic as my usual self, because my strength is actually not 100%. So if I may say, if we give it a percentage, maybe 75%, and that is when in between patients. Today, I still went to my clinic, I still work, and I still came here because I have tasks to do here in our cafe. And of course, my beloved family in Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community and our Life Without Rice, I still look forward for our live episode here. So Florentina Molina, Macantaro, Alovera, Gina Dilay, Villena, Rico Fernando. Hello, sir. Thank you so much that you're here. I'm so happy with our consult a while ago. Richelle Pagaduan Domingo, Kathy Bertudes, Linda Lara, looking good pa rin kahit walang kain. Salamat po. I'm still alive, so I'm a living proof that you won't actually die, or at least look like dying if you are fasting. Just a little powder, a little lipstick, so you will really, but actually it doesn't matter if I'm fasting or not. This is just my usual face. And Florentina, ano po pwede gawin? Gusto ko po mag-try EF, kaso po uminom ako ng pills. So with pills, you really have to take that. But if you want for contraception, it's up to you. You can avoid that, but you can also continue to take that, but just make sure you don't take so much water. So a pill is very small, and I doubt it is significant when it comes to calories, but it would just be considered as dirty fasting. So if you wish to know more, since it's quite a thorough and important subject, I suggest you read the Perfect at Last Book 1. So that is our fasting protocol. So Azalet Harke, how to break 18 to 20 hours fast. Thank you. So just plain water and start with soup and start with always low carb, or else you might endanger yourself from fainting. You will have loss of consciousness if there's a sudden spike of insulin that is too much for the spike of sugar in your blood. So Yaniko, thank you for tagging your friends. Connie, we will miss you too. I hope you won't forget me. Don't forget me, ha? I will be back on March 8th. So Ichiro Shimishu, watching from Japan. Oh, there's already 3 from Japan. Of course, not watching because still the very hardworking, our dear friend and moderator of Life Without Rice and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community. Hello, my dear. So Cheryl Jasmundo Cruz, thanks for the info, Doctora. You're my inspiration. That's so nice. Thank you so much. I will do everything that I can to help you with your own personal journey. And so comes next week, starting tomorrow. So no consultations. I will be fasting so that I hope to be better, so that I can also be better for all of you guys. So I feel like I still need to improve more so that I can offer more of myself to you. So I hope you get to continue what you do. Before I leave, I want you to commit to yourself that you will stay low carb, and if you can also fast during that time, at least consider it as part of your Lent season exercise. You can fast even just for a day, even just for a couple of hours, intermittent fasting if you haven't started yet. So you can commit with just a longer fast. So if you're used and comfortable with 16, you can slowly increase it to 17 or 18. If you're already into 18, you can go into 19 or 20. I am dry fasting for 5 days, hopefully 7 days. not for you to do dry fasting as well. But for those who haven't heard about fasting, acknowledge that skipping 1 meal will not kill you, skipping 2 meals will not kill you, skipping 3 meals will not kill you. Definitely, you can have better results. You can gain more benefits actually when you are skipping meals as compared to not skipping at all. That is filling your day with meals: breakfast, morning snacks, lunch, afternoon snacks, dinner, midnight snacks. So we are actually in the pandemic of overeating that is already causing the global lifestyle diseases that have killed millions, even more than COVID did. Okay? So if you want to improve our health, don't be afraid of COVID. Just make sure you are at the top of your health. Okay? So because there is nothing more important than our health. So see you next week, Jeline. I miss you already, Ayeng. Me too. Hello, Gilbert Salvador. Thank you for being here. Just cooking. Yan na naman. Always tempting me. I will unfollow you na talaga. Temporarily, of course. Luis Amonte, I'm planning to extend my fast. Currently doing 16:8. You are an inspiration. Thank you. Cheers to healthy lifestyle. Cheers to you po. And of course, we have Jeline. See you next week. Ingat. Maraming salamat po. Don't worry, I'll be very safe and sound. Amabel Colina, hi Doc, I'm proud of you. And thank you so much po. I feel like with all of you guys here, especially telling me where you are, it gives meaning for those cities. Like, I used to just pass by Pangasinan, pass by Pasay, pass by Bulacan without any meaning. But knowing that you're there, it somewhat gives me a different look, different outlook on those places, that I know at least someone out there, at least one is there who is somewhat like an extended family for me. So Cebu has already been my second home, and also Metro Manila, Makati, because my sister is there. But with the addition of Amabel, I feel like I have another additional reason to go to Cebu and stay in Cebu. So Connie Fabular, thank you so much. Maraming salamat that you won't forget me. Thank you, Liz Gabini. Skipping meals won't harm us. Yes, it will heal us. That's true. And I think we are all here as living proof. We have experienced it ourselves. And I want you to not be afraid to say this advocacy, to tell everyone about it, even if there are a lot of people who will bash, who will say negative things. But just keep on sharing, keep on telling everyone how it benefited you personally, because each one of us, we have at least one person who really believed in us. And if that one person already also knows someone who believed in them and will also apply the learnings that we do, we can just have a domino effect, and it can help so many people. So we don't need to be greedy with this lifestyle. Everybody can benefit, and it's more important that we share it with everybody, especially our loved ones, because it makes the journey easier, it makes the journey more meaningful, and it makes the journey a lot fun. Just like our community in Life Without Price and low-carb feasting and fasting community. Milet Aksaban, it's okay. Don't worry, you can always do a replay. But I'm so happy that you get to be here. Leia Lay Limokon, takot po ako mag-skip ng meal because I'm taking metformin. So maybe it's no longer time to take metformin. Anyway, for those of you who are already having medications, of course, you shouldn't be fasting without a supervision from your physician. I suggest you consult first. You book a consult with a low-carb knowledgeable physician so that you can slowly wean off from metformin. Okay, if you are afraid to skip meal because of metformin, aren't you afraid to be dependent on metformin all your life? So Net Louise, Doc, good evening. As I was asking, yeah, the ACV without sugar, without cream, without sugar, without sweetener, will actually won't break your fast. Actually, I have a list of things that I will bring with my retreat, since the last half of my fasting, which is supposedly on my retreat in the retreat center, I will actually bring a lot of things during my water fasting, and part of that would be water, sodium or salt, So I will also have potassium, magnesium. I will also bring MCT oil in case I feel like I want to break my fast or I feel weak, so that I can have additional MCT to help me with my ketones. I will also bring ACV, since it will not break my fast and I love ACV so much. I will also bring, what else will I bring? I made a list about it. So those are the most essential things that I will bring. Baking soda, yes, because I might make snake juice there. But most importantly, I will bring also my stuff that I need to do. So work related, the books that I need to read, the gadgets that I will need in order to do what I need to do. Gadgets, I have certain to-do lists that I must complete, so all of those. But with supplements, so those are very important. I will bring coconut oil, MCT oil, sodium, potassium, magnesium. I'll even bring a calcium and zinc, since it's already my second week of fasting. Water, just 2 liters. No, just 10-liter water, the bottled water. That is already enough for my 9 days. And of course, I think I will also bring my weighing scale, not to measure my weight, but I have a smart weighing scale, but to measure my hydration status and also my body fat percentage, so that I will be well guided. So it's okay. Congratulations on your extended fast. So San Pablo City, Laguna, see, another beautiful city that will give me more meaning when I go there. I won't forget you, Doc. You are the reason where I am now. Oh, thank you, Annabelle. I so love Annabelle Vicky Tuhan. Zint Mandala. Hi, Doktora. Nice to see you today. Ang galing mo po. I love you, Zint. And Mylene, thank you for tagging Lani. I did share it to my colleagues kanina. Kaya invite ko po sila sa group natin. Thank you, Connie. Hello, Doc. Your book inspired me to start fasting. Thank you. So, did you read book 1? Marilao, Bulacan. See, I will really need to go to Luzon soon. Will you be offline? I'm not sure. I think my contact there contacts me through Facebook Messenger. So, I feel like there's internet connection there. So, as long as there's signal, if it's the same with my network provider, internet provider, so maybe there's internet there. Even if I can be available online, but I think I will still also somewhat fast from social media. Don't forget to check my bayad. Thank you so much. How to manage GERD. So GERD, usually, just like everything else, can just be addressed with low carb and fasting. Don't be afraid. Thank you, Doc. Nawala kasi kanina yung stream. Yes, it was disappeared. So thank you for asking your question again. MCT oil break your fast, Doc? Yes, it will break your fast technically, but it will not break your ketosis. Okay? So, watching from Iloilo po. So, nearby lang yan. I hope to be in Iloilo soon because I will need to process some papers with LTO, with license, and so many things, with SEC. So, I might be in Iloilo soon. So, thank you so much, guys. Meron pa tayo. Will I have a Tukib Negros this Sunday? I'm not sure. So, thank you so much. I'm not sure if I will see you on Monday, but if not, I will definitely see you on Monday, then the week after next. Okay, so the week after. Okay, so that is March 8th. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. And stay low carb always so that we will all stay safe. And I hope you get to tell me about what happened to your week and if you were able to stick with low carb or stick to your fasting, or you can do your own fasting schedule as well. Sabay tayo mag-fast. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye!